Good day to you. My name is Jalia Ng. I'm the Workstation Business Manager in Lenovo. Okay, I'm going to share with you today a couple of things that we will do when we want to consider choosing a workstation, okay, especially for your needs in SolidWorks. Okay, let's look at the 2022 workstation portfolio. Okay, if you look at the portfolio itself, on the desktop workstation itself, we have the from the smallest that you are seeing right now, the P360 Tiny, okay, all the way up to our P920, which is dual processor workstation. Okay, so when you look at the Tiny itself, is P360 Tiny. This is the smallest that we have in the workstation range. Okay, it's about the size of your mobile, you know, when you are using your mobile router at home. Okay, it's that kind of size. Okay, and then of course we also have our P360 Ultra. This is a totally new casing that we are looking at. Is much smaller than the previous small form factor that we used to have. Okay, then we have our P360 Tower. Okay, so this will be the entry level of our workstation. Okay, then when we move to the mid range, we will have the P520, you know, C, and then the P520, and then of course the P620 is our one and only desktop workstation that's running the AMD Threadripper Pro. Okay, then on the dual processor, which is the higher range of the desktop workstation, there'll be a P720 and a P920. Okay, then as we move on, okay, you will see also the ThinkPad P series, which is our performance range. We call it a mobile workstation. So from P14S all the way up to our P16. Okay, so P14S will be the entry level. Okay, and P16S and P14S, the main difference is the screen size is 14 and 16. Okay, then we have the P15V, which is the mid-range. Okay, P1 will be our lightest mobile workstation, which is only 1.8 kg without touchscreen, and with touchscreen is still less than 2 kg. Okay, then we have the P16, which is the higher range that we have. Okay, this will allow you to have a different configuration of your graphic cards, you know, together with our different processor that we are offering. Okay. Okay, on the mobile workstation, MWS stands for mobile workstation. You will see those, you know, model that I mentioned earlier on. Those running on the entry U Intel processor, okay, as well as the AMD options. So you have a choice of using the AMD range like the P14S AMD Gen 2, okay, which we are actually now transiting to P14S AMD Gen 3. Okay, so on the P14S itself, you have the Intel model as well as the AMD model. Okay, so if you want to know what's the difference between them, okay, you can see on the right screen itself. It's either using the T550 graphic card, okay, or you can choose the AMD Ryzen Pro graphic card. Okay, so that is on the P14S. Okay, on the same config, but you want a bigger screen. Maybe you say, oh, I want to go for a 16-inch. That is where P16 comes about. So we have a P16S Gen 1 and a P16S AMD Gen 1. So on the entry level and the mid-range, we do have AMD options for people who are open to use AMD processor versus Intel processor. Okay, that will help you to have some cost cutting. Okay, you know, within your budget itself. Then as we move on to the entry H processor, you will see the P15V AMD Gen 3 and the P15V Gen 3 on the Intel platform. Okay, so with this you will get you can go all the way up till your A2000 graphic card. Okay, which is a very powerful card for those people who are looking into entry level. Okay, and yet able to get better graphic cards. Okay, so we also have a T15P Gen 3. This is running on the GeForce card. Okay, so this is the main difference between the P15V and the T15P Gen 3. Okay, as we move on for P1 Gen 5, okay, P1 Gen 5 itself, it can support up to our 4500 graphic cards. Okay, so you have different kind of graphic card configuration. Okay, all the way up for you to choose from. If you prefer something that is lightweight, P1 Gen 5 is definitely a good choice for you, because we have collaboration with Aston Martin. So the engineers in Aston Martin are actually using this as a mobile workstation when they do the designing. Okay, for people who are looking into the highest range that we have, which is P16 Gen 1. So previously we have a P15 Gen 2 and a P17 Gen 2, which is 15 and 17 inch. So for this year onwards, we will move to the P16, which is the latest model that we have. Okay, so for people who says that, hey, I want different kind of configuration, the highest range of processor with the highest range of graphic card, P16 will be a good choice because it's actually using a daughter card for their graphic card, so you can mix and match. Okay, so that's on our mobile workstation. So this will give you an estimation of the price that you're looking at when you're choosing a mobile workstation. So on the entry level, as I mentioned, the P14S and the P16S, that will be below USD 2000. Okay, so you'll be from 1299 plus onwards, okay, all the way till could be 1899. So it depends on the configuration of the graphic card that you're choosing. Okay, so if you're looking into anything that is below USD 2000, it could be your P14S, P16S, or P15V. Okay, so these are your options. If you're slightly more budget, okay, and you want more powerful graphic card, then we can go for the P1 Gen 5, okay, or the P16. Okay, so this will allow you to have whether you want a NVIDIA A5500, okay, or you want a GeForce 3080 Ti. Okay, this will be the way to go for you to choose the right mobile workstation. Okay, what about desktop workstation? So for desktop workstation on the entry level, you will see the P350 that is transiting to P360. So I mentioned about tiny, right? And then we also have the Ultra for people who are looking into small form factor and yet give you the performance that you're looking at. Okay. We also have a sub-entry range, which is the P358 Tower. This is running on AMD processor. The P348 Tower is running on Intel. So for people who are looking into slightly below the entry level, the P358 will be a choice. Okay. Then P360 will be the Tower model, and it will offer you the 12th gen Adelaide processor. Okay, and you can go all the way up to a RTX A5000 graphic card. Okay. The mid-range, you notice that there's not much of a change. P520C and P520, okay, will move on with a refresh of the graphic card. Okay, so it will support all the way up to the A4500 graphic cards. Okay. P620, we have done a refresh 4.0, same casing, but then right now you will support the 5000 series Ryzen Threadripper Pro processor. Okay. And it also allow you to go different kind of combination of graphic card. Okay, if you're using the NVIDIA RTX card, that will be up to A4500. So you have a choice of that. Okay, and then as we move on, we'll see the dual processor, which is P720 and P920. It's more on a refresh on the graphic card. Other than that will be the Windows 11 Pro support. The rest of the config remain as it is. Okay. So that is our desktop workstation. Okay, what about industry solution? I've chosen the industry solution for the 3DS, right? All the Dassault Systems software, which is SolidWorks, Simula, and CATIA. So you can have as low as a P360 Tower or Ultra, okay, for your 3D design and engineering. Okay, but if you want a mobile workstation, you can go for P15V, Intel, or a P16. Okay, so these are the model that we will recommend for your 3D design and engineering. But if you need to do some visualization, okay, multi-physics simulation, then I would suggest you go for the P620, okay, which is our single processor Threadripper Pro AMD processor machine. Okay, but it can go all the way up to 64 core, so it's a very powerful machine. You can actually use this for your higher range of design needs. Okay, if you're just running SolidWorks standard professional, P360 Ultra Tower will do the job. Okay, or you can go for P14S, okay, Gen 3, or P16S Gen 1. Okay, but if you need to run your premium and simulation, okay, then at least a P520C and P520, okay, or a P16 Gen 1. Okay, so this will help you to choose for your SolidWorks application. That means your workstation, you're only running SolidWorks. Okay, then this will be the recommended spec for you. Okay, we do have remote workstation solution because right now you look at the pandemic is like ending, right? I mean, now right now people are working from home. Sometimes we do have arrangement to work from home, and certain days we'll go to office. So if you do have a desktop workstation in office and you want to use it while you were at home, working from home, you can actually use what we call the TGX solution. It's a remote workstation solution. Your desktop workstation will be running on NVIDIA GPU, okay, which is the graphic card. And at home, you will have a mobile workstation like a P14S, range with an NVIDIA graphic card also. And they use the graphic card itself to help you to do simulation for you to access to your desktop workstation in office. Okay, so this can be done with our solution. If you're interested in that, just feel free to approach us and we'll give you more information on TGX solution. Okay, what about Pro VR solution? We heard a lot about AR VR solution. Okay, but for AR VR will be content that is already ready. Okay, so it will be more like an entry level kind of goggles for you to go together with your application. Okay, but we do offer the higher range, solutions like with HTC Vive, or even Oculus, or even Vajo that you're seeing over here. But Vajo right now is not available in AP yet. It will be coming to AP soon. Okay, so that's why we call it the Pro VR. Okay, it's more for product development. People who want to do VR and you want a better resolution kind of thing, then like Vajo, HTC Vive together with a SolidWorks application, this would be the best choice. Okay, then why Lenovo Workstation, right? When you look at our design itself, we take into consideration in our desktop workstation to make sure that we have all the capability that you usually see in a server, but we bring it down to our workstation. Okay, like toolers, power supply. In fact, it's all toolers. Okay, you don't need a screwdriver to open up the desktop workstation. Interchangeable fan, of course, multiple graphic cards supported, integrated card holder, dual Intel Xeon CPU, etc. Okay, so let's look at cooling. Okay, when you run a desktop workstation, usually you run it like for simulation rendering is like 24/7. Okay, you have to run it overnight. So ensuring that you have proper cooling is very important. So we have patented this tri-channel architecture which allow each component to receive cool air in your desktop workstation. Okay, so because of this, you notice that you can get better cooling temperature as compared to our competitors. Okay, what about the flexibility of efficient power supply? Okay, we are flexible in the sense you can choose what kind of power supply you want for your desktop workstation. Okay, usually we offer like 2 or 3 options for you to choose. Okay, so it depends on your graphic card, how much power do you need for your graphic card and all the different components in the desktop workstation. Then you size it accordingly. We also have what you call the flex bay. Flex bay in the desktop workstation allow you to put different kind of additional config that you put in. Some people still want a DVD ROM, right? So you can have that, or additional USB port, okay, or Firewire port, etc. So, or even card reader. So you can actually do that. LPT is our Lenovo Performance Tuner. Okay, this allow you to tune your application, your ISV application that is running on your workstation. So LPT is free. So with every workstation that you purchase, it comes with LPT free. You can just download the application and then you install it, and then you can do application affinity, application priority, power management, etc. So when you look at the reliability of our workstation, so what we did was in 2019, okay, this report was done by TBR, Technology Business Research. They do this every 3 to 4 years. Okay, so the next round will be coming out soon. They are third party. So what they did was they put Lenovo, the competitors' product. When we say competitors, usually we view Dell and HP as competitors. Industry could be some gaming PC and all that. Okay, so they put them together and look at the repair rate after 3 years. Okay, so Lenovo stand at 7.8% versus industry at 9, and then 9.7 for our competitors. Okay, so this makes us 20% more reliable as compared to our competitors. Another thing to highlight is also, I'm not sure whether you're aware, you know, like when you look at ThinkPad itself, ThinkPad is actually used in the NASA. Okay, so it's actually used in space. So if you use it on space, then definitely it's something that is more reliable as compared to any other vendor's mobile workstation. Okay, so on the note on mobile workstation itself, all the ThinkPad P series, which stand for our mobile workstation range with the performance range, it actually went, you know, we undergo 12 military spec methods and 22 procedures. So we ensure that it can handle any kind of environmental hazard. Okay, we call it MIL spec in short. It stands for military spec. Okay, so mechanical shock, vibration, sand and dust. Sand and dust is important because usually you bring your mobile workstation to the site, right? Could be construction site, etc. And you just want to make sure that the sand and dust will not cause any problem to your mobile workstation. Okay, the fungus, altitude, solar, radiation, etc. So extreme temperature, too hot, too cold, is not an issue at all for our ThinkPad. Okay, especially the P series. Okay, why ISV certification? Okay, it's important to make sure that the application and your hardware are compatible, so that it gives you the best performance. It gives you the reliability. So you can actually check. We do have a website called thinkstation.com. Okay, and then you do /ISV certification. Click on your SolidWorks application, and then you can see which are the version that are all certified. Okay, so all our workstations are certified for ISV certification. And why is it important to have ISV certification? Because couple of things like order independent transparency, rear view graphic, full screen anti-aliasing. Okay, so these are very important things when come to using a workstation for your designing needs. Okay, we want to make sure that whatever you design, the screen show the right thing. Okay, rather than when it's supposed to have a shadow, you don't even see a shadow at all. Okay, so this is very important for you to have a workstation that is ISV certified. Okay, that's all I have for today. Thank you very much for spending time with me for the past 15 minutes. Okay, so have a good day ahead. Thank you.